situations goes on in their life and why they made decisions or why they went this way. Or we can't even place and look at ourselves as Christ gave us the mystery, saying, look at people as trees. And we can't see that someone went through a storm and lost a precious limb. And when it fell off, that they hit us with it and lashed out at us. We can't see the truth because we're allowing ourselves what we see in appearance, what we pick up in appearance, the situations around us, to control us and allow us not to be the pillars of the church after what He done for us and all that He done for us. If we went today, as we say so many times, what would your records clearly say? What would they say? That you've done all that you can do, or are you going to come up short? Is it going to say your mind was so full of what worries and appearances and things around you that you couldn't do what I wanted you to do? Or is He going to say, come give me some love? Come here. I done it for you. All I want in turn is just some love. Give me some love. That's all I want. But the appearance of situations and things around us. And Christ warns and warns and warns about watch out what you see. Don't walk by sight, walk by faith. Don't walk by the things that's going on around you. Don't let the situations that's unfolding before you turn your path. You stay on the course that I've got for you. You don't let nothing turn you unless I tell you to turn. And have you asked Him to turn? Or did we decide to turn ourselves? Did we ask Him, did we need to go over here? And He gave us an answer, or we just assumed that that's what He wanted us to do? Because the situations around us is controlling us, and we are not being the pillars that He wants us to be. Because we cannot humble ourselves down. We can't humble ourselves down enough to be able to look into our own hearts, our own lives, our own minds, our own situations. And this is the way mankind has been since the beginning of time. We allow all these situations. I wish sometimes maybe it may be better. I mean, I don't want to be that way if we just put on blinders all the time. You know, maybe a blind person has a better chance. I don't know, because they can't see the things around them. They can't pay attention to somebody giving them an ugly look or some situation going on. The deaf can't hear what people got to say about them, so they won't have to take on these things that they hear about what somebody may say and be hurt by what somebody's heard. So maybe they even stand a better chance than what you and I. But that Christ even warned us and said, if your eye offends you, you better pluck it out. So the appearance of things around you is destroying you, and things going on, or the things that you hear and is hurting you, He says, cut them off. Get rid of them. It's better to go through life maimed and without it than to go into hell and allowing these things to destroy us and keep us from being the pillars after what this man has done for us. And I encourage you from this day forward, every day you get up, you watch, you think about that. If you've never seen the movie The Passion, I believe most of us have, just picture what they did to Him. And I don't even believe it gives 1/10 of what He really did for us. But they've done a very good job of getting as close as they could to making reality out of it. But get up every day thinking about that. You talking about humbling yourself every day, that you'll start off your day saying, man, things ain't so bad after all. Situations ain't so bad after all. I need to quit doing these things. I need to quit allowing the enemy to use me. And quit letting him tear down my pillar. And quit letting me be that strong pillar that I need to be to hold the church up. Because it takes us all. Building's pretty big, you know. It takes us all to hold it up. And if God says move, we need us all to help pick it up. One man can't carry it, or one person can't. But it takes us all. And we need every one of us. And we all can be pillars if we want to be. We're all called to be a part. But this is what's destroying us continually. And that's what he keeps trying to tell us, is it's these thoughts and these things that's going on around us in our carnal mind running away with us. And then the enemy comes in saying, yeah. And we're agreeing with him. We're agreeing with him. And then a day goes on, and then a week goes on, and we don't even pick up our Bible or pray because we're so tied up in the things that somebody said or something we've seen or some situation going on around us, and begging God to help us. And he's saying, I'm trying to help you. He tells us that persecution and situations come to help us. It helps us to grow. It helps us And it's the opportunity, the golden opportunity to glorify. We brought that up to you in 1 Peter. When Paul, writing a letter, had told and explained that persecution is the perfect time to glorify God. That's what we was talking about. It's the difference that we should be having. When we bury someone who is lost, we're supposed to rejoice. That was saved, we're supposed to rejoice. We're supposed to rejoice about it. When we give up, when someone's sick, we should be going, God is going to heal them. Going through the emergency room, saying He's going to take care of it. What does it matter? But instead, we took up because of the appearance of what we see. The things that we're hearing is keeping us from being the pillar that He wants us to become. When are we going to humble ourselves down? When are we really going to look at what He's done for us and picture this? And I'm telling you, from now on, whenever a situation arises around your life, and I feel like there's people in here with situations around their life that's going on, and you're trying to figure them out, won't you picture Christ and humble yourself down and let it go? And realize that we need to be the pillar. That's what Paul clearly said in the beginning of 1 Timothy. When he wrote that letter to Timothy. We need to be the pillars because of what Christ done for us. We need to be the strong. We need to be this way. And the only way we're going to be able to reach this world, the only way we're going to be able to change direction, and we hear all these prayer requests about people needing healed and sicknesses and lost, we're never going to be able to get them in unless we become pillars. Unless we put away the things that's changing us. And what's changing us, if you'll get to the core of the problem, it's the things that you see and hear that's causing your mind to wander. And the enemy is inputting. And he's convincing you of things. He can convince you of a lie big as the world. He's done it to me. I'm being guilty. But I've learned to control by using my weaponry. Above all, the shield of faith. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I do stumble and allow and let Him in sometimes and realize it and go, man, I'm not perfect, no more than anybody else. But then I pick myself back up and say, God, I'm sorry. I got to be a pillar. I got to do better. I can't let Him do that. I can't let Him trick me like that. Because you talking about being away from your family. If you've never done it for any length of time, the enemy can play with your mind, buddy. He can play with you hard if you'd let him. But you know what? I'm not letting him. I'm not going to let him. Because he can just play with you in so many ways and convince you of some of the biggest lies they are. Because of the appearance, the way it looks, because you can't see them, because you can't do these things, and it begins to just wander. Then you can't be a pillar. And when you're in all this worry mode, trying to figure it out, how close you think you're going to be able to get to God? How much of your Bible are you going to be able to understand? How much prayer time? I mean, real prayer time. Only the pure in heart can see God. But where your treasure is, your heart be also. Where your heart is, your treasure is. So whatever you're focusing on is where you're at. That's where you're at, so you don't have a pure heart. And we're trying to seek God and seek God. If you're trying to seek God, and I feel like there's some of you in here that wants to, you're trying to seek Him for some answers and situations. Only the pure in heart. Only the pure in heart, or only those who seek God with all their heart shall find Him. With all their heart, all their soul, and all their mind shall find Him. And that's why we can't do it. Our mind is controlling us and taking us this way. It's a bad habit that we've got into. It's a bad habit that we've got into to try to think everything out, every situation around us. And it's something that God is trying to tell us. If we want to be pillars, let's be pillars. And how you going to do that is the way that the Lord showed me the other night when I was going to work. Lisa's usually up about the same time getting ready to go to work. We're texting back and forth or talking back and forth, as I go to work, because it's the only chance we usually get to talk. Or in the evening, I told her, I said, I had a dream about Christ and the suffering He went through. She said, it must have been a humbling experience. And I said, it sure has. I've got up every day thinking about that ever since. And it's changed me. It's changed my mindset of every day. To not let things get to me. To not let situations try to destroy me. I'm not going to say that there's not going to be some trap laid out there. No, I can't say that. Because